Have you ever been called cold, indifferent, or passionless right when chaos erupted? If your calm in the middle of the storm bothers others, pay attention. This isn't a flaw. It's the sign of your greatest strategic weapon. While the world around you reacts with panic, you observe. While people get lost in emotional outbursts, you process. In the office during a crisis, you're the one who stops running around and starts thinking. At home during an argument, you don't drown in emotion, you look for the solution. And in all these moments, the verdict you receive is always the same. You just don't care. They mistake your silence for apathy, but the truth is the opposite. That space you create between the stimulus and your response isn't hesitation. It's your mental laboratory. It's what we call the strategic delay, a power mechanism that allows you to analyze the battlefield while your opponents are too busy fighting their own emotions. This video isn't here to console you. It's here to arm you. You will understand why your calm isn't a lack of feeling, but a form of superior intelligence, forged in pressure and sharpened by observation. We are going to decode the psychology behind your silent power and give you the playbook to transform this misunderstood trait into your decisive advantage in any negotiation, conflict, or crisis life throws at you. From today on, you will no longer apologize for who you are. You will start winning because of it. Before we continue, I ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you don't like the video by the end, you can always unlike it. Deal? If your calm is a weapon, it was forged somewhere. It wasn't born from a vacuum or from indifference. It has a philosophical origin and a deep psychological explanation, and understanding it is the first step to mastering its power. The root of it all lies in an ancient principle adopted by the most powerful people in history, from emperors to generals, the dichotomy of control. The Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the essence of Stoicism and the foundation of your calm. Your brain instinctively already operates under this rule. Think about it in practice. A crucial work presentation is moved up by a week without notice. Your colleagues panic, complain about management, and spend hours in water cooler talk about how unfair the situation is. It's a total waste of energy trying to control the uncontrollable. The decision has already been made. You, the strategist, accept the new deadline as a fact of life, like the rain or the wind. Your mind immediately dismisses the complaints and focuses on what it can control, your own action plan. You open your calendar, reprioritize tasks, cut what isn't essential, and build a new viable timeline. Your calm isn't because you don't feel the pressure. It's because your mind refuses to waste energy on a battle that's already lost before it begins. But this skill didn't come from nowhere. It was bought and paid for with pain. And this is where ancient philosophy meets the modern psychology of Carl Jung. Jung spoke of the process of individuation and the crucial journey of confronting and integrating what he called the shadow, our fears, our traumas, our darkest impulses. Calm people are not those who have never seen chaos. They are those who have survived it. Remember that time you had to speak in public and your voice trembled, your hands sweated, and your mind went blank? You felt the humiliation, the paralyzing fear. But you didn't run away forever. You faced that shadow again and again, maybe in small meetings, maybe practicing alone. Today, when you stand up to speak, the anxiety might still be there, but it's no longer an unknown monster. It's an old acquaintance. You have integrated it. That entrepreneur who navigates an economic crisis with serenity today has probably bankrupted a business in the past. He felt the shame, the weight of failure, firsthand. He no longer fears that shadow because he has already danced with it and survived. Your current calm is the graduation certificate from an internal war college that few have the courage to attend. You don't fear the storm outside because you have already tamed the one that was inside you. This economy of energy, this refusal to panic, leads us directly to the third pillar of your power, the military strategy of Sun Tzu. In The Art of War, he teaches, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. What does this mean in your daily life? It means that every impulsive reaction you avoid is a victory. Imagine the scene. You're in a team meeting and a colleague, who loves to grandstand, makes a sharp, unnecessary criticism of your work in front of everyone. He expects a defensive reaction, a fight, something that elevates him at your expense. The standard reaction would be to talk back, point out his mistakes, and start a war of accusations that would poison the environment. Instead, you look at him for a moment, process his intent, and calmly say, "Thank you for the feedback, I'll look into that." End of discussion. The energy of his provocation finds nowhere to land and dissipates. He ends up looking petty and aggressive. You controlled and superior. You won, without fighting. Another example, a furious client sends an email at the end of the day, full of accusations and irrational demands. The temptation to respond immediately in the same tone is immense. But the strategist knows that responding with anger is fighting on the enemy's turf. You read it, understand their frustration, and close the email. The next morning, with a clear head, you send a short, professional reply. I understand your concern. To resolve this, I suggest a call at 9 a.m. to align on points A, B, and C. You refuse to participate in the chaos and move the conflict to a controlled environment on your terms. You won, without fighting, and this is where we get to the big reveal. They told you your calm was a problem. The truth? It's your most lethal weapon. That delay between the stimulus and your response isn't hesitation. It's the strategic delay. The time you use to analyze the battlefield while your opponent drowns in their own emotion. In that space, you gain a devastating informational superiority. While others are reacting to the noise, you're picking up the signal. You become unreadable, unpredictable, and therefore impossible to manipulate. Their chaos feeds on your reaction. By denying them that, you let them fight against ghosts. This is the strength Marcus Aurelius described and the strategy Sun Tzu taught. You are not the victim of the situation. You are the ocean observing the passing waves. Understanding that your calm is a superpower is the first step. The second, and most important, is learning to activate it on command and direct it with surgical precision. Being a mental strategist is not a passive state. It's an active discipline. Here are 3 practical actions to start sharpening your weapon today. 1. Practice mirror mode. The next time someone, be it your boss, your client, Or your partner accuses you of being cold or distant in a tense moment. Resist the human impulse to defend yourself. Don't say, "That's not true. I do care." That's what they expect. It's a trap that pulls you onto their emotional battlefield, where you will always lose. Instead, maintain your calm, pause, and turn the pressure back on them with an analytical, disarming question. Look at the person and calmly ask, "What exactly about my behavior made you feel that way?" What happens in that moment is a spectacular power reversal. You shift the focus from your supposed flaw to their emotional reaction. You force them to analyze their own feelings instead of attacking your character. Suddenly, it's no longer about you being cold. It's about what in them interpreted your calm as coldness. You stop being the defendant and become the analyst. You control the dynamic. 2. Perform the daily battle audit. At the end of each day, for just 5 minutes, do a mental review of your interactions. The goal isn't to dwell on things, but to identify victories. Find one situation where you chose not to react. It could have been a passive-aggressive email you decided not to answer immediately. A provocation from a colleague that you let slide without comment. A driver who cut you off in traffic, and you just took a deep breath instead of honking. To most people, this is passivity. For you, from now on, this is a strategic victory. Consciously acknowledge each of these non-reactions as an act of power. Tell yourself, "Here, I saved my energy. Here, I won without fighting. Here, I refuse to be a pawn in someone else's game." By doing this, you train your brain to associate non-reaction with power and control, reinforcing the habit of using your energy only for what truly matters. 3. Implement the morning stoic anchor. Your day is won or lost in the first few minutes after you wake up. If the first thing you do is grab your phone, you've already started on the back foot. You are immediately putting yourself in a reactive state, being bombarded by the demands, news, and emotions of the outside world. A strategist sets their own terms. Therefore, before you look at any screen, implement your anchor. It could be spending just 2 minutes in absolute silence, focusing on your breathing. Or it could be reading a single sentence from a thinker like Marcus Aurelius. The goal is simple but profound: to define your internal state before the outside world tries to dictate it for you. You start the day in command, centered, reminding yourself that you control your mind, not the events. It's a small practice that builds a mental fortress for the rest of the day. Your calm was never the problem. The world's misunderstanding of it was. Now you have the map, the philosophy, and the tactics. You are no longer a passive spectator, judged for your silence. You are an active agent, a strategist who uses stillness as your arena. Now, let me know in the comments what you thought of this content and if it was helpful to you. And while you're there, don't forget to like the video. And if you're ready to stop apologizing for your calm and start using it as the weapon it is, subscribe to the Solitude Mastery channel. See you in the next video.